not attracted to each other. That's also what I know.
She's definitely coming upstairs from Paul.
Whatever, guys. Those are two adults. It's still flirting, yeah. So
Making it.
yes.
Something seriously is telling me that somebody is really getting jealous. Like, Venice, are you sure you're not jealous? There's so many jealousy vibes in Biggie's house. And I'm going to be sharing with you the very funny midnight conversations that happened, guys. I mean, it's literally been a very funny night listening to this housemates rant about their feelings and their thoughts. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm going to be giving you all the full gist as usual. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, please take this minute to subscribe to be a part of this community and of course join the conversation. You guys, I mean, I hope I'm still keeping the energy alive here. You guys don't forget to turn on the post notification bell as we dive into this conversation already. Now, guys, just like earlier, in my earlier video, I actually shared the love situationship between Gashon and Tato, and then I shared about how Libo and Tools were reacting to it all. And guys, hey, just on the same light, just with the same energy, guys, we discovered that it looks like Venice is not really finding it funny with Mpo and Themba's friendship or whatever conversations, because literally, guys, earlier we actually had Nali and Venice have a conversation. And the conversation that was happening between Venice and Nali was, Nali and Venice was like, you know what, that she's thinking of getting back. I mean, she literally moved her things earlier in the day upstairs because she's like, I'm tired. I'm no more staying downstairs. The cold is much. I think she's just feeling lonely and she wants to get closer to them, Nali, because I mean their friendship and their bond is actually getting very stronger. So literally we had that conversation between Venice and Ali, and it was very, very interesting. At some point, it was just Venice for me saying Nali, and Venice for me saying that she regrets entertaining Themba, that she feels embarrassed. And I'm like, girlfriend, what are you saying? You brought this whole thing to yourself. So basically, guys, it was quite funny because while that conversation was going on, I mean, they literally had, I think Venice is just literally beginning to have some problem with Mpo for just getting closer to Themba. You guys know that right now Mpo is acting too free-spirited, like she's just flowing with the guys, has normal conversations, no big deal. Sister Mara is now the new ally and they're just working closer together. So I mean, while these guys were having their conversation about Themba and Mpo, I think this is one of the reasons why Venice decided to move upstairs. Like, she probably can't deal with the fact that she likes this guy very much. I mean, I personally feel that Venice is the jealous type. You guys remember when she and Venice when BU and Venice were like kind of still in their new phase of situationship. I mean, she kept complaining about how close BU was to Yoli. So I think Venice is naturally this very jealous type. She doesn't like her man to be with another person. Maybe it makes her feel some type of way. So I think that is literally her problem, because while she was having this conversation with Nali, guys, we're literally hearing Mpo and Themba, and of course Sister Mara, they were just having a conversation, and Mpo was literally just questioning Themba. Like, it was more like, let's get to know you more kind of conversation. And the conversation were 5 things. Let me ask you 5 questions about you. You answer the question. So I mean, Mpo had some questions to ask and she kept asking them. Sister Mara also joined in the conversation. The conversation was quite interesting, guys, but one of the very amusing conversations, that really happened was the one that happened between Nali and Venice, because we actually found out that Venice and Nali, at some point when they were having their conversation, it looked like the conversation has switched from every other thing they were talking about and was specifically focused on Mpo. So the conversation Venice and Nali were having about Mpo was Mpo's crush in the house, and they were like, Mpo is really into 3 people in the house: Gaswan, Themba, and Libo. So the conversation they were having was Nale and Venice were like, you know what, Mpo has three guys she's really crushing on in the house. And the three guys she's crushing on in the house is Kashwan, Themba, and Libo. And they're like, I mean, that they're very sure that Mpo wouldn't mind going have a threesome or a groupie with them. Like, I really didn't know why that conversation had to stretch into that. Like, at some point, I was like, hey, girlfriends, you guys should get a grip on yourself. Guys, it was just literally a night of conversation. And, this guys carried the conversation into Choose had to, at some point had to come in and Choose told them about the gastron telling him that he had won a woman. And then they were like, Gashon is very creepy. Like it was Venus talking this time. That Gashon was very creepy, and that she didn't really understand why he rolled like that. It was just very funny. And then we had Venus saying that what, she feels very embarrassed that she entertained Themba and all that and all that and all that. And I was like, you just realized that. So it was just it was a full night. The conversations were very loud, and it was just centered on, like, I don't know, but the gossip was quite loud. Eventually, we just found out that it looks like Venice has finally moved upstairs. I don't think she's ever going to go downstairs because she's very, very uncomfortable. And then while they were having that conversation, they actually said that Themba is actually thinking of moving upstairs. That they know that Themba might actually move upstairs to come and be closer to Mpo. So I don't know what to call this. I don't know if to call it jealousy jabs. I don't know if to call it just gossip. I don't know what to call it, but that was the situationship last night when when Nali and Venice were having a conversation with Tools. Now, guys, the conversation stretched because we also found Po, Libo, sorry, Po, Sister Mara and Themba, and they were just asking Themba different questions. At some point, I think their conversation maybe got boring or something, and then we saw Mpo and Sister Mara leave Themba. Themba, like, they were asked the kind of questions they asked Themba were questions like, do you have any cold feet or something for anybody? Like, do you have feelings for anybody in the house? And Themba is like, he doesn't have any feelings for anybody in the house. And when Themba said that, in my head, I was like, so what's this whole thing with Venice? I thought you said she was like a baby crush or something. I don't know about this Themba guy. He wouldn't cease to amaze us. So at some point, he was asking Po and Sister Mara if it was a crush thing. And I mean, literally, I don't think Themba is. He just gave his own stand. He said that he doesn't think he likes anybody that much in the house. That for him, he feels like there's no time to get to know the person to the level he'd like the person to know, and to know the person to the level that he'd like to know the person. And so because of that he's not very, very attached or extremely close or extremely crazy or has a severe crush on anybody in the house, that he's still working on the solo lane. And basically, guys, that was just the real conversation that happened. And guys, after their conversation with Themba, I mean, you guys, Themba is an early ready, but he likes to go to bed early. Now we now saw these guys come back and have a conversation. I mean, they were trying to have a conversation and they got into the garden at Jacuzzi Sports. And when they got there, they found Kashwan and Tato busy doing their thing. And guys, I mean, when they got there, Mpo was already apologizing. Sorry, guys. And, Tato was like, it's cool, you guys can come in. They came in after some while. Tato and Kashwan decided to, just go to bed. And guys, I don't know, but it's literally very funny how this whole turn of events is turning. I mean, Venice is suddenly saying, I don't want them to do anything with Themba, and I'm like, don't you think that's too early for you to make that decision? Anyways, this is literally one of the basic things that actually happened. Yes, just the conversations, of course, gossip conversations, that's what I'm going to call it. We had it from Libo to Tools, from Tools to Libo. It was just going back and forth, and they had so many things to talk and speak about other people's situationship. In my head, I'm like, okay, we totally understand you guys. Guys, this is literally it. I hope I took it all. I hope I didn't forget anything. But if I do, I'll have to come back and give you the full gist. You guys know I'd like to tell the story. My if you're following this channel, you know that I tell the story. So if you want to get the best, you probably follow the video cards I have in this video. You follow the videos that I shared before, you subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out my other videos, guys, because this will actually help you get more insight into Biggie's show. Guys, this is literally it. Biggie's children said good night, and that was literally it. I'll be back here with more updates on what's up in Biggie's house. You guys, thank you so much for your watch time. For now, ciao ciao.